Ashley and I have been together for 3 years. Her kids are both tweens. I get along with them and they're good kids. I'm not their dad, but they are polite and respectful. My parents have bought them Christmas and birthday gifts ever since they met. I had a good year and wanted to do something nice for the kids. Ashley and I talked about it and we would take the kids to Disney World over Christmas. The problem is that her ex wants to pitch in and come with his wife and their kid. I don't want to go on a holiday with this guy and his family. I talked to Ashley and said I prefer it to be just us since this is our first big family holiday. She said that her ex wanted to be there for the kids' first trip to Disney. We argued and I gave in. Then the plan was told to me. He really couldn't afford to stay where we would stay, so he and Ashley decided that I should change our reservation and stay somewhere cheaper. Fine, I don't really care. I wanted to treat the kids to something awesome, but as long as we stay somewhere nice, then I'm happy. We chose a good neighbor hotel at Disney Springs. It's nice, allows for early entrance, and has character events. It turns out that what was supposed to happen was I was supposed to cancel our reservations at the Grand Floridian and use the money to pay for an extra suite at the other hotel. Their idea of him pitching in was paying for flights for his wife and kid. I said no way. Ashley said the kids want their dad there. I said he was welcome to take them. She said I was being cheap since I could afford to do this. I can, but that's not the point. I don't want to do this. I can afford to do a lot of things. I only do them if I want to do so. We had a big fight and I gave her the tickets for her and the kids to go, and I cancelled the flights and hotel. Now she's angry at me because she went through all the trouble and expense of getting the kids' passports and luggage and stuff. I told her to tell me the cost and I'll reimburse her. Her ex called me to say I was being an idiot and hurting his kids. I said it probably hurt them more when he had a kid with another woman and left their mom to go be with her. I don't think I'm wrong here, but maybe an outside opinion would help. Thanks. P.S. Her ex is a manipulative person. He still tries to control her and I'm sick of it. Your girlfriend, not wife, expects you to pay for her ex-husband and his affair partner, wife, and all their kids to fly to the US as well as pay for their hotel and resort tickets? She must be out of her mind. You are not responsible for their vacations, and it's absurd for her to even suggest it. You're not the idiot, but I think it's time to reevaluate that relationship. I wonder if she and her ex-husband are having an affair. She's willing to go on a vacation with not only him, but the woman he cheated on her with. The woman he left her for when she got pregnant while they were still married. Not to mention, she and her ex are close enough to plan this entire vacation. I understand some couples get along really well after they divorce, but this is almost too well. It seems suspicious. I think she might just be a horrible doormat. I have, unfortunately, known women who will do anything and everything for their kid's dad after leaving. Dude, your girlfriend is an even bigger piece of work expecting you to enable and fund her ex-husband's nonsense. She said I was being cheap since I could afford to do this. She's found herself an ATM machine in you, and by extension, so has her ex. Sorry, but you're being used. I'm sorry to say that your girlfriend is also manipulative. She only told you the plan when she figured out it wasn't coming together the way she and her ex wanted or needed it to. The audacity of her and her ex helping themselves to your money, and then her telling you you're cheap. Luckily, you were able to cancel the hotels and flights. Since you gave her and the kids their tickets, you shouldn't reimburse her for the passport fees and luggage costs. They still could go, just not at your expense because your goodwill ran out. Rightfully so. My 40s female, I'm divorced from my ex, 40s male, and we have a young teen daughter together. Let's call her Ava. My ex and Ava have apparently been planning her birthday party without including me or even letting me know about it. While I believe this was more my ex's doing than Ava's, it still really hurts to be excluded from planning my own daughter's birthday party. Now, Ava wants to come to my house to bake her birthday cake because her dad's kitchen isn't well equipped. When she first asked, I reflexively said yes, but mentioned I would be busy. After thinking about it more, I told her it might be better to do it at her dad's place instead. I feel terrible about this because I don't want to put her in the middle of our issues or make her feel bad about having divorced parents. I don't think she intentionally excluded me like her father did, but at the same time I feel like I'm being treated as just a convenient kitchen space after being completely left out of the party. Am I the idiot for wanting to set this boundary, even if it means disappointing my daughter? I hate that this might make her feel caught between her parents, but I also need to stand up for myself in some way. Edit, my ex and I share 50-50 custody. Until now, he and I have held a joint birthday party. When I asked Ava about birthday plans a few weeks before, she told me her dad was already planning a sleepover party. I texted him, asking why he planned it without consulting me first, and he responded angrily saying he didn't need my permission. To celebrate on my side, I took a day off work to take her to a restaurant or shopping and bake her a cake. She's a child. She's your child. She's having a birthday. You admit you believe planning a party for her without your involvement is your ex's doing, not hers. If you and your ex can't be in the same space to celebrate her birthday, then she should have 2 different celebrations, one with each of you. Grow up. You are the idiot. Don't you consider this her house too? Weird that she even has to run this by you. Just bake 2 cakes with her. It's a fun bonding thing. The 2 of you have a celebration and she takes the second cake to Dad's place. It's not weird to have separate celebrations after a divorce. You and your ex already introduced hardship into her life. Why make things even more difficult over pettiness? By the way, she probably wants to use your kitchen to include you. I, 31 male, dated Chloe, 29 female, for 4 years until we broke up 3 years ago. The reason for our split was that Chloe was moving across the country for a great job opportunity, and she basically gave me an ultimatum to either propose and follow her or break up. The issue was that I had a business I couldn't just abandon, and I wasn't ready to get married anytime soon. Honestly, Chloe and I had been on different pages for a while. Our last year together was full of fights and miscommunication. Her ultimatum was just the last straw. Chloe didn't take the breakup well. She painted me as the villain to everyone she knew, saying I was stealing her time and fertile years, and that I'd end up alone like my dad, which was a low blow because my dad's a deadbeat and I don't have contact with him. A year after we broke up, I started dating Gabby, 26 female, who is honestly the best thing that's ever happened to me. We've been together for 2 years now, and we've been living together for about 5 months. I proposed to her 2 weeks ago and we posted the pics on social media the next day. That's when all heck broke loose. Not even 12 hours later, I got a call from Chloe, frantic and screaming at me, calling me a cheating idiot, which is entirely unfounded, accusing me of stealing her time and saying I wasted her fertile years. She kept going on and on. I was taken aback and tried to talk to her, but she was just yelling. Eventually, I hung up mid-call. Since then, I've been getting non-stop calls and hateful messages from Chloe's friends. It's gotten worse. Some people started attacking Gabby on her social media, sending nasty comments, and wishing her harm. Our business has also been getting sketchy bad reviews since this started. I'm really confused. I went to my mom to vent and she basically sided with Chloe. She said I should understand that proposing to Gabby so soon after my breakup with Chloe was an idiot move and that it would definitely reopen old wounds for Chloe. Hearing this from my mom really messed me up. I ended up leaving her house without saying goodbye, and now I can't stop thinking about everything. All my friends are on my side, but my mom has always been really close to me and is usually the voice of reason. I don't think I did anything wrong, but maybe I'm not seeing something. Gabby is also upset because this mess has overshadowed our happy news. She's worried about the impact it's having on her business with all the bad reviews. Am I the idiot? Proposing to another woman 3 years after breaking up with your ex is too soon? What the heck? So your mom knows about the personal attacks on Gabby, her soon-to-be daughter-in-law, and that your ex's friends are review bombing your business, putting your livelihood in jeopardy, and she's not on your side? I get a bit of empathy, maybe, but what Chloe did was beyond the pale. She needs to get over it. Why isn't she engaged after 3 years? I'd suggest a follow-up conversation with your mom about how disappointed and betrayed you feel about her lack of support. Not the idiot, but your ex is for certain, and your mom should be sure to miss the wedding. Thank you, and since when is 22 to 26 the fertile years? Fertile years for Leonardo DiCaprio? I'm guessing she's still this angry because she either A. expected OP to come crawling over to her after she moved away, or B. hasn't found anyone else to go live out the rest of her fertile years with. Either way, she desperately needs to move on. They broke up when she was 26. Unless she has some disease we don't know about, even 29 isn't too old to find someone new. My guess is she isn't in a relationship, so in her eyes she lost to OP. Some people care more about comparisons instead of being happy innately. The attitude of, I have a 100-inch TV but my neighbour has a 105-inch, so I'm not happy anymore. It sounds like Chloe has been continuing to waste her fertile years even after your breakup. Wonder why that is. Couldn't possibly be a her thing, could it? Congratulations to you and Gabby. Basically, I, 52 female, have 3 daughters, Anne, 30 female, Carrie, 26 female, and Jane, 20 female. When all my girls turned 18, I made them a special blanket. I then made them 3 swaddle blankets out of the same materials for their future children. Carrie told me not to because she didn't want kids. I found out later it's because she's a lesbian. I said okay, but I made them just in case. Earlier this year, Carrie married her lovely wife Rory, 28 female. Her amazing daughter Diane, kindergartner female, is my 3rd grandchild. I approached Rory and asked if I could give her one of the blankets I made for Carrie's kids, or if she wanted me to make a special one for her out of the materials I used to make their wedding living room blanket. I always give these out on the day they're born, so for Diane, I plan to give them on her birthday and explain that to her. She told me to ask Diane. I did, and Carrie overheard. I found out that she was pregnant because she was crying and yelling that I didn't respect her wishes, so how could she trust me with her baby? I'm just so confused and hurt. I was trying to do something nice for all my girls and sweet Diane. Instead of being happy, I was cautious. Carrie is threatening to go low contact because I don't respect her and am obviously homophobic because how else would I have thought she'd get pregnant? Which is very confusing. Rory is telling me it's hormones and that Carrie is emotional because of how hard it was to get pregnant. I didn't know they'd been trying, and that she's afraid she's going to lose it. Am I the idiot? I was trying to be kind. I wasn't being homophobic or trying to be disrespectful. Edit. I don't know if it's relevant, but I still have material from the blankets for patching, so I was planning on adding to Diane's to make it big enough to use, or I was going to let her have it fit her baby dolls. That's what my other 2 granddaughters do now that it's too small for them. I didn't know Carrie was a lesbian until she was 23. I had made all the blankets by the time she was 19. This is really confusing, but I'm pregnant, and in the first 3 months I was really something. It was kind of a lot, my poor husband. Maybe give her a little space right now, maybe put the blankets away. Don't know why the blankets trigger her. Hold on to the blankets and maybe she will come to see them for what they are, which is a thoughtful gift. Tell her you love her, you're happy for her, and you'll talk when she's ready. You wanted to show her partner's child she was part of the family. That is so lovely. This is clearly a miscommunication. You're definitely the idiot. If she continues to yell about stuff, maybe give her even more space. Honestly, I think a little time and space is wise. Pregnancy can be emotionally overwhelming and obviously we can't be sure, but if she did IVF in order to get pregnant, that can increase that even more. Let her know you were in no way trying to be disrespectful, apologize that it came off that way, and give her some time. Your heart was in the right place and you clearly love your children and their families so much. I really believe that with a little time she will realize that she's lucky to have such a loving and accepting mother. Your daughters and granddaughters are so incredibly lucky to have you in their lives. Almost every Friday, my friends and I would go out to eat or grab a drink. I've known Jenny since high school and I never liked her. She never used to bring lunch and expected everyone to share their food with her. I always told her no because I wasn't going to go hungry for her sake. I wouldn't have minded if it had been a real need, but she would always say things like, I didn't bring lunch today because I didn't want to carry extra stuff. When someone suggested she buy something, she'd reply that she was saving money. On top of that, she had disgusting table manners. She'd burp loudly at the table, and when someone stopped eating, she'd say, "Oh, you're not going to finish that?" and devour their food without asking. That was when I stopped eating lunch with them. Over time, I stayed in touch with the group, but only joined outings when Jenny wasn't invited. A few years ago, I moved to the city, and after a high school reunion dinner, we reconnected as a group. I'd forgotten all about Jenny, but over time she ended up being included again. This time she would order food, but when it was time to pay, she'd conveniently forget her wallet, leaving us all to split the bill evenly. This happened 3 times, and by the 4th, before we even ordered, I told everyone I'd be paying for my meal separately. Someone asked why, and I said I wouldn't chip in for someone else's shrimp while I was eating chicken and salad. Jenny stayed silent. When the bill came, no one wanted to cover Jenny's portion, and they asked me to help. I refused. Everyone was upset, but I'd already warned them. The following week, Jenny didn't order any food. Instead, she got up for a moment, and when the servers brought the dishes, they handed her a set of utensils. She then announced that she'd just take a little bit from everyone's plates. I made it clear I wasn't participating. Some people were annoyed, so I offered to sit at another table if it was a problem. They didn't say anything else after that. Later that week, some people in the group complained that they'd left their meal still hungry because Jenny had eaten from their plates. Meanwhile, she bragged about how full she was. Some even blamed me for separating my bill, saying it contributed to the problem. I told them I wasn't going to go out with them anymore as long as Jenny was there. Her behaviour at the table was disgusting and I wasn't going to pay evenly split bills anymore. I suggested they meet without me. One of them apologised and asked me to join another dinner, assuring me that Jenny wouldn't be there. Everything seemed fine until Jenny showed up. I rolled my eyes and stood up to leave, but my friend stopped me and asked me to stay. Someone else moved their seat to put distance between me and Jenny. We ordered, and when the food arrived, Jenny got up, walked over to me, grabbed 2 pieces of salmon from my plate and said, "See, the world doesn't end if you share." I looked at everyone, got up and left without paying. Afterward, they kept calling me because I was supposed to give a few of them a ride home, but I didn't answer. In the group chat, I told them all to go away and left the group. Some messaged me saying I should at least pay for my meal. I told them to have whoever ate it pay for it. Am I the idiot? Edit, she's very funny and tries to flatter you for everything. That doesn't work with me. You handled this without slamming the plate of food in Jenny's face, therefore, not the idiot. Normally, I'm against people leaving without paying for the food they ordered, but if someone ate off my plate, I wouldn't touch it either. Instead of leaving, I would have said to the waiter when the check arrived, "I'm sorry I didn't get the chance to eat because this woman ate my plate of food. Is it fine to put the dish on her tab and get me something else?" It's crazy that all your friends support her behaviour. What is it about this Jenny that everyone loves so much that she keeps getting invited, and why do they accept such crappy behaviour? This is like a Three's Company episode. Everyone pretends like it's just fine and nothing is going on until someone has to blow up and point out the obvious. Why is this group of friends so loyal to someone who's been that rude for so long? Jenny is a mooch of the highest order. Don't touch my plate, you uncultured swine. OP, you're better than me. I would have forked her. Those aren't your friends. The group has chosen Jenny over you. They are idiots and they don't have the nerve to tell her that she's a complete ponce. I suggest you leave them to it and find better friends.